I want to live in a world where women are building and collaborating their own amazing stuff, and it's so good that everybody actually wants to be a part of it, because this alternative format of leadership is so effective. And this is the concept of the future is female. What can we learn from the female energy to provide alternative forms of leadership?
We got drummer, prophet, healer, singer, songwriter in the house today. Madame Gandhi, not Miss Gandhi, Madame Gandhi. Ooh.
There's power in what you say, own your voice, don't be afraid.
A lot of times people also ask me, like, how do we as women break into hip hop? How do we like break into CEO positions at companies? And I'm like, I don't want to advise you on that. I don't have the answers, because I'm not doing that. I don't want to break into what men have already started. I want to go make our own dope shit, you know? I know that it's working when men want to be in my band, when they want to play on my stage, when they want to collaborate on my project, because they're like, that shit's already popping off. I want to be part of that.
When you graduated from Georgetown, you had that revelation moment where you realized your desire, which was to tour the world as a drummer. And you realized that through an emotion that we're used to denying, hiding, pushing down. What was that emotion?
Jealousy. You know, I always talk about how jealousy is a very dark emotion, as you said, you know, because it can make us throw shade to somebody else. It can make us be rude to them, say bad things about them. But if we're honest with ourselves, jealousy can actually be a really helpful and intuitive emotion, whereby we can use it to say, this is me, my body, and myself telling me what I really want for my own life, and how useful, instead of it being what my parents want, what my environment is telling me to do, what my friends are doing, it's just honestly what I want for my own life. And it's a compass. It's go get it. And so when I was, when I graduated Georgetown, I was working for 2 years at one of the biggest record labels in the world called Interscope Records, which I can't wait to talk to you about. But by the end of my 2 years though, I started thinking, what's the next step? And my sort of jealousy, or let's say my what I felt inspired by others, there was two things. One is my friends who were touring the world drumming, you know, the guitarist for Katy Perry, the trumpet player for Justin Bieber. I wanted to be the drummer for such and such. And then also the women who came before me who were leaders in the music industry, who were using their MBA and their business skills to really make a difference. And I felt if I could speak that language, then I can go in and sort of infiltrate from the belly of the beast and really reform an industry that I care so much about, but make it healthier for women and girls.
Has that influenced who you choose to collaborate with now?
Absolutely. I actually feel so lucky to have self-selected out of the sort of traditional workforce. And so sometimes I feel bad too when I give talks, people ask, like, how did you deal with that experience, and how would you recommend someone who's dealing with that experience at work right now? And I'm like, damn, I literally self-selected out. I said, fuck this, I want to go make my own stuff. I can't tolerate it. It's just intolerable. And I went to Harvard so that I could avoid this. Like, I went through it and I learned all this stuff so that I don't have to go and put myself in more oppressive situations. So I'm doing all this work, and yet because we don't see enough women do that, and we just don't believe it. And so I understand that from a disbelief perspective, which is where a lot of people's stereotypes come in, and I can understand that. But it's really tough for me to not take it personally every time I play someone a song and they say, who produced it? Like, literally just mix the record, which is an important role, but has nothing to do with the creative, and he will get the credit, just because we trust men's skill sets over women's. And the second I get my anger going, what I told you about processing our emotions, so I'm really trying to be on my intellectual tip about that, but it's definitely harder the closer it is to your core and to your heart.
When you were coming off of I think it was your first tour with M.I.A. as her drummer, I remember you were talking about how you experienced post-tour depression.
Yes.
And that being on tour was being present. Can you comment on that?
Because when you are living your truth and you are truly joyful, you're in the flow, you are so present, you're not thinking about anything else, because this moment is the most joyful thing. A lot of times when we think about something else, it's because, at least for me, if I'm thinking about something else because I'm searching for joy, like, oh, if I think about the future, that's like giving me the sort of false momentary satisfaction of a joy, or looking forward. Or it's when people say like about weight loss, like, oh, well, when I lose 20 pounds, then blah, 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 which is a really dark sort of way to live. And the world teaches us to live that way. It's not good. when I was on the tour, I was so present. I loved the feeling of like waking up late, you just have a coffee, your only job for the day is to play the drums to the best of your ability on a world-class stage and bring joy to the audience, you know? And that was my only job, and I was so happy to do it. It was so perfect.
I would love an insight into how you're applying this feminine, collaborative, mutually empowering energy with specific examples in the studio.
Of course, my best friend Laura, most fucking amazing example of that. We are literally, when she comes on the stage, because she has her own amazing project that I've supported for many years, playing the drums on or just doing some management stuff or workshopping the vision with her. And now she's doing the same for me while my project has been starting over the past 1.5, 2 years. And we'll be driving around together and she'll be like, put that track on. Like, I want you to be a little bit more dancing in this moment. And I think you should be a little bit more serious in this moment. I think you should like while out on this moment on the drums, you know, and just creative directing it for me and encouraging me. And then on the stage, we were at Lighting in a Bottle about a month ago, and I still get emails about this show. It's in my inbox today about fans being like, that show literally changed my life. And it was an impromptu moment, but I told Lara like 15 minutes before her coming on this, like my show was about to start, dude, you know The Future is Female, the song, come on the stage and fucking sing it with me. She's like, okay. She like went and got a yellow shirt, put it on. The song starts, she walks on the stage with a wireless mic, and I was about to say she killed that shit, but my new thing is to say like she fertilized that. I'm like, that's like such a male like reward. I'm like, I don't want to kill anything. I want to like give it life. Seed it, fertilize it, nourish it. So she nourished that shit. Then she nourished that shit. She fertilized it to no end. And the joy of us celebrating each other and supporting each other on the stage was so emotional for so many women because they know what that feels like, especially from childhood when we as girls were able to have our best friends. But it goes away as we get older because we're integrated into the patriarchy where female friendship is literally the enemy. And so we are living our truth on the stage and behind the scenes, and it's such a positive example of what collaboration can and should look like. So many amazing women in my life. They are just extraordinary, but there's so many external conditions and forcing factors that make women dim their light just to be able to survive. And it's really the biggest tragedy, and it makes me so mad. And you hear that in the aggressive drumming and aggressive electronics of that song. You know, it starts peaceful and it starts like, we're warning you, do not test us, do not push my buttons, do not oppress us. And if you do, we will get fucking mad and we're gonna say fuck you. Like, that song is about that. It's like, hey, we're gentle, we're loving, we're here for you, we do great work, we're brilliant, but then you oppress us and then you push us more and then you push us more and now we're mad. So that was that energy, but I want that for all women. I want a girl to be like that at 9 years old. Don't fucking touch me. Get the fuck out of here with that. Like, I want her to feel that empowerment. And that's also the personality and the archetype behind Madame Gandhi. You know, it's like, I'm sometimes Kieran, like too demure and like sweet and like overly trying to be likable. And then there's Madame Gandhi, who's like, no, stop arguing, put the vocals there and that's it. We move on, it's not a discussion. It's my music, no. So, like, with the song Her, it was inspired by The Handmaid's Tale, which I had read when I was a sophomore in high school, 16 years old, and this all-female society, but then all the darkness that comes with it because it does still live in a larger oppressive context. I have another line too in this song that I want to sing to you, which is like, give a grown girl room to breathe, basic rights and her liberty, free from insecurity that the world's projecting onto me. Please do not trouble me when I am focused. The future is female, you already know this. I'm fighting against the corruption on SCOTUS, turned up in my top knot since when I first broke this.
Future is female.
Bring it back.
The